Epilogue. The last part of this Purana is called Uttarparva, which lists many stories, the most prominent one being that in which Yudhishthir asked Lord Krishna about the being's ideal way of leading life. In fact, in this work, we have clubbed together all the relevant details in a separate chapter. The problem with these kinds of ancient books is that they are generally not very well edited, although it is believed that during the golden period of Indian history, the Gupta age, in the 3rd to 4th centuries AD, all the Puranas were duly edited at the royal command. The later interpolations again rendered them a haphazardly joined account of the ancient period. It is for the convenience of the modern readership that we have recast its chapters by clubbing all the relevant portions under one chapter. Many of the stories or details, like the descriptors of various hells, have been deliberately omitted as their better comprehensive versions are given in other Puranas. According to this Purana, the Srimad Bhagavat Purana, in which Lord Vishnu has been glorified, is the creation of Parashara Muni. The Skanda Purana was created by Lord Shiva. The origin of the Padma Purana is believed to be the creator. Brahma's mouth, while the creation of the Brahma Vaivarta Purana is attributed to sage Shukadeva. Lord Hari himself is believed to be the creator of the Garuda Purana. These 6 Puranas are said to be Sattvika Puranas. The Puranas that are created by sage Vyasa are said to be the Matsya, Kurma, Nrisimha, Varuna, and Vayu Puranas, although the generally believed fact is that all these Puranas had been created by sage Vyasa, but this Purana makes this distinction. Maybe these Puranas had their different authors, but it was sage Vyasa who edited all the 18 Puranas. Since the above-mentioned Puranas are full of details of the ritual practices, they are supposed to belong to the Rajas category of the Puranas. The creation of the Varaha and Markandeya Purana is credited to Markandeya Muni. It was sage Angira who created Agni Purana. Tandi created Linga and Brahmanda Purana, and for the enlightenment of the people, it was Lord Shiva who created the Bhavisya Purana. These 6 Puranas are called Tamas Purana. According to this Purana, the best among all the Puranas is Bhagavata Purana. When Kali Yuga had become rampant over the earth, Maharaj Vikram invited all the great sages dwelling over Mount Kailash, Himalayas, to Naimisharanya Tirtha, and he requested Sutaji to recite to them all the Puranas. At that time, Sutaji also informed the king that there were 18 secondary Puranas. Perhaps it was during that recital the editing of the Puranas must have also been undertaken. This is also the reason why all the Puranas begin with Ekada Naimisharanya, or once in Naimisharanya. However, it is apparent that those versions of the Mahapuranas were not taken as final, since the interpolations continued to be added to these Puranas rather recklessly. In fact, there are many versions of the Bhavisya Purana, not only available from different publishers, but also having quite different stories and other details. The scholars opine that this Purana is believed to be a summation of 3 different Puranas called 1. Bhavisya Purana, 2. Bhavisyata Purana, and 3. Bhavishyatara Purana. It is believed that the Bhavisya Purana, as we have it today, is a subsequent presentation of the Bhavisyata Purana. The Bhavisyatara Purana specifically deals with the keeping of fasts and giving alms, and must have originally formed a part of the Bhavisya Purana. The Bhavisyatara Purana, on its own, is an authentic and recognized work, but does not contain any of the 5 characteristics of Mahapurana. So when we refer to Bhavisya Purana, we in fact refer to all the 3 texts. Otherwise, the Purana would not be complete. We have tried to give reference of all the stories that are prominently mentioned in these 3 texts, but we have deleted those which are either well known and have been given in other Puranas, or which apparently seem to convey nothing of substance. The first reference to these texts are to be found in the Apastamba Dharma Shastra, a work dated not later than the 3rd century BC. But how to reconcile the allusion to the medieval ages, or even to the British Raj in India? In order to explain this, most of the celebrated Indiologists opine that this is a text that has grown over a period of 2,000 years, from the 3rd century BC. In the text of this work, we have explained where the narration takes the present or future tenses. The suggested upper and lower limits of the period are 450 to 500 BC to 1850 AD. In the limits of the period are 450 or 500. In the course of this growth or evolution, later day material was added to the original stuff that formed the core material. Although the later day material was interpolated as prediction or prognostications, it is apparent that the observation is coeval. Perhaps in order to maintain the sanctity of the Puranas, they were incorporated as if they were foreseen by the sages of the epic period. Even the foreign influence were seen as predictions. After all, historically, India was subjected to repeated invasions, and the influences of the Pallavas and Scythians and other Iranian Central Asian people are very well apparent. Some of them, the Magha Brahmanas, for example, retained their identity and even showed their influence on Indian texts like this Purana. It has been quite an effort to segregate the chaff from the grain and chapterize this text in such a way as to become most easily comprehensible even to the curious reader. The aim of this series is not to give the authentic translation to the text of the Puranas, but to highlight that part which throws enough light on that formative part. Even for the people of the modern age, we want this work to serve the role of the trailer to generate enough interest in the readers to go to the original. Addendum: Jesus Christ and the Bhavisya Purana. The following prediction of Jesus Christ is found in the ancient Hindu scripture known as Bhavisya Purana. Jesus Christ in the Bhavisya Purana. The following prediction of Jesus Christ is found in the ancient Hindu scripture known as Bhavisya Purana. Bhavisya Purana Pratisharga Parva Chaturyuga Kanda Dvitiyadhyaya, 19th chapter, text 17 to 32. Ruling over the Aryans was a king called Salivahana, the grandson of Vikramaditya, who occupied the throne of his father. He defeated the Shakyas, who were very difficult to subdue, the Senas, the people from Titiri, and Bahikas, who could assume any form at will. He also defeated the people from Rome and the descendants of Kuru, who were deceitful and wicked. He punished them severely and took their wealth. Salivahana thus established the boundaries dividing the separate countries of the Mlechas and the Aryans. In this way, Sindhustan came to be known as the greatest country. That personality appointed the abode of the Mlechas beyond the Sindhu River and to the west. Once upon a time, the subduer of the Sakyas went towards Himatunga, and in the middle of the Huna country, Hunadesh, the area near Manasha Saravara, or Kailash mountain in western Tibet, the powerful king saw an auspicious man who was living on a mountain. The man's complexion was golden, and his clothes were white. The king asked, "Who are you, sir?" "You should know that I am Ishaputra, the son of God," he replied blissfully, "and am born of a virgin. I am the expounder of the religion of the Mlechas, and I strictly adhere to the absolute truth." Hearing this, the king inquired, "What are religious principles according to your opinion?" Hearing this question of Salivahara, Ishaputra said, "O king, when the destruction of the truth occurred, I, Masya, the prophet, came to this country of degraded people, where there are no rules and regulations. Finding that fearful irreligious condition of the barbarians spreading from Lekadesha, I have taken to prophethood. Please hear, O king, which religious principles I have established among the Mlechas. The living entity is subject to good and bad contaminations. The mind should be purified by taking recourse of proper conduct and performance of japa. By chanting the holy names, one attains the highest purity. Just as the immovable sun attracts from all directions the elements of all living beings, the Lord of the solar region, who is fixed and all attractive, attracts the hearts of all living living creatures. Thus, by following rules, speaking truthful words, by mental harmony, and by meditation, O descendant of Manu, one should worship that immovable Lord. Having placed the eternally pure and auspicious form of the Supreme Lord in my heart, O protector of the earth planet, I preach these principles through the Mlecha's own faith, and thus my name became Ishamasya, Jesus the Messiah. After hearing these words and paying obeisances to that person who is worshipped by the wicked, the king humbly requested him to stay there in the dreadful land of Mlechas. King Salivahara, after leaving his kingdom, performed an Ashvamedha Yagna, and after ruling for 60 years, went to heaven. Now please hear what happened when the king went to Svargaloka. Thus ends the second chapter entitled The Age of Salivahara, of the story of Kali Yuga, of the Katar Yuga Kanda, also called Pratisarga Parva, of the powerful Bhavisya Mahapurana.